Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Living Well podcast. This is Andrea Erickson, and I have a special guest with me, second time being on here, Dr. Heather Gessling. Dr. Heather is a proud wife and mom of three beautiful children from Columbia, Missouri. She graduated from Oklahoma Christian University with a bachelor's in biochemistry and went on to medical school and residency at the University of Missouri, Columbia. Dr. Gessling is a board certified family medicine doctor through National Board of Physicians and Surgeons. She was chief of staff at a hospital in Missouri for 6 years until the summer of 2021, when she opened up an independent practice, Gessling Family Wellness, which has 2 locations in Missouri. The pandemic opened her eyes to the corruption of the healthcare industry through governmental, corporate, and pharmaceutical company influences. This has led to her fight for change within the broken system and to fight for the sanctity of the physician-patient relationship. Her leadership history includes Director of Operations for Global COVID Summit and Chief Operating Officer for the medical team at the Wellness Company. She recently, in spring of 2024, in DetoxU with Christian Elliot of True Whole Human, and that's going to be our focus of today. So welcome, Dr. Heather.
Thanks, Andrea. Glad to be back. Always
Yeah.
fun to talk to you.
Yes. So I'm really excited about hearing more about this because this is so foundational to so many people with their health, with having a good detox, because
Mhm.
everyone has toxins. We're exposed to so many toxins in our environment. People have mold and parasite infections and don't know it. There's heavy metals and all the chemicals we're exposed to and just different forms of toxicity. So tell us a little bit about your program.
So, a lot's been going on since I talked to you last. We've launched a program called DetoxU, and that's through our PMA, which is Private Membership Association, called Healing United. You can find us at w.healingunited.today. And I'm saying that W because that domain .today, when you type in just healingunited.today, sometimes Google doesn't pick it up. But if you put in those 3 W's, it helps pick it up. That's our website, and you can see all that we have going on. And the DetoxU is a program that's our original program that we built, and sort of an intensive where we get to know you. We do multiple sessions throughout the week. We give you some different templates on how to dig deep with your emotional and physical, mental health to get rid of toxins, both physically and mentally. And mental burdens or toxins can have just as much effect on our health as physical toxins. And so it's really crucial to acknowledge that we have to have really good mental health as well as physical. But DetoxU is a program that helps get to the foundational principles, first principles of healing. And really, we have to get our body working. And our bodies, just in a lot of cases, are not functioning like they should. We don't have lymph flowing. We don't have bowel movements going. We're not urinating enough. We're not sweating enough. We're not moving enough. And so our bodies are just stagnant. Our mind's stagnant. Our physical health is stagnant, and we're literally not moving. So what we have designed is some explanations and help to motivate you to get all of those things in good working order again. Really understand and reset your thinking about what's normal. I know that I talk to patients about, you have good bowel movements every day, and so much and so commonly I hear, well, that I don't know. I've never had bowel movements every day. That's not me. I've never had that. And I'm like, but you need to. That's our goal. That's what we want to work towards. And so really that's what we've designed, is to help people realize what is the normal way to live in order to thrive and be healthy and be detoxifying daily.
That's really good. And I'm glad you addressed the emotional side of it too, because that's often a side that is missed
Mhm.
with the healing process, because you've got to address everything. We're holistic beings, right? So going back to the problem with poo, I,
Mhm.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because whether it's I'm constipated or having loose stools often. That there's if there's an issue with the gut, then that's a big signal that there's something going on that you need to address.
Yeah.
And people think, oh, I just go to the bathroom every 2, 3 days. That is not okay because you are reabsorbing those toxins your body's trying to get rid
Yeah.
of.
You're just sitting there. That's right.
So
We want you to have abstinence once or twice or even 3 times a day.
yes, yes. That and yeah, what are some of the basic principles of detoxing?
Well, so let's expand on that, double click on that sort of discussion about bowel movement. So you want to for sure be drinking enough water so that your gut is having that fluid to be able to move, and you want that water to be clean and filtered. The concept of filtered water is still relatively known and new to a lot of patients. I ask them, what are you drinking every day? And they say, oh, I'm drinking water. Where is it coming from? Oh, the tap. And I just tell them, you cannot be drinking water from the tap. There's essentially no municipalities in this country that have good water, but so you've got to get some good filtered water, RO. I know there's always controversy about what's the best filtered water, but just get some filtered water. And I don't recommend drinking from plastic. So if you've got your bowel movements going through drinking plenty of water every day, maybe increasing your magnesium or increasing your vitamin C, which are natural antidotes to constipation, moving more, exercising more, that's going to help move it. Then that's a good foundational principle that's one of the most simplest ways to detox every day. And then also, if you're drinking more water, your kidneys are filtering at a much higher rate. If you're sweating through exercise, which is the best way to sweat, saunas are good. I have a full spectrum infrared sauna in my clinic, which I think is awesome. It makes you sweat and really get purified or purify out those toxins. It's good, but exercising and moving and causing that kind of sweat is actually the best. And there's been studies done on what's excreted when you sweat through exercise versus when you're sitting there in a sauna, and they are different. And so that's really important. And the exercise also helps with lymph movement. But back to the emotional detox, it's, I think physical and getting all of that going is super important, but I don't even know if I think that emotional is the most important. I think that's the foundational, because until your mind is ready to heal, until you have gotten it settled in your mind that you're ready to change your life, that you're ready to heal, you aren't going to have the success that you would have if you have settled in your mind, let's go. And emotional healing can be done through a variety of different ways. Counseling is good, and sort of recognition of trauma and dealing with that. Different mechanisms such as the EMDR, the eye movement, all of those things can be very good. I've also started doing medical intuitive training to help patients heal from their emotional trauma or different events that are keeping them from really thriving and excelling at life. There's another book that I've recommended lately that I'm just a huge fan of because it's so effective, which is the book, The Healing Code. And it talks about healing your cellular memory. Your cells hold on to your traumatic experiences, and traumatic experiences don't have to be with a big T, like trauma, like a divorce or a car accident or a sexual assault. It doesn't have to be that. It can be little things that accumulated in your childhood, even things that happened to you that your parents may not have even ever had any intentionality to hurt you, and it just happened. There's a lot of these things that have accumulated over your lifetime, and your cells are holding on to those memories and preventing you from really thriving. So I recommend dealing with those traumas, and the Healing Code is a good way. It's a Christian-based book, and it's written from a Christian author that has sort of understood this concept of quantum healing, quantum energy that's coming from our bodies. And quantum healing, quantum energy is a concept that we've circled back to. We used to kind of, there was a lot of understanding about that several hundred, or maybe about 150 years ago. We were coming to that point where that was becoming more understood, and then we lost it. It became sort of more quackery, and now we're back to understanding that energy that we have within us can be utilized to heal yourself.
Oh, that's so fascinating. I think that's something that every practitioner should be trained on because it is one of those things that usually is outsourced to counselors or, of course, our pharmaceutical companies. Here, take
Yeah.
this pill, fix, but it's really not because it's causing a whole lot of other problems and not getting to the root of the issue. So people need real healing, and I'm so glad you mentioned with the healing code that it is a Christ-centered foundation, a way to go about it because there's a lot of things that we can do to try to heal ourselves, but I'm of the belief that if you don't have Jesus, you're never gonna get
Mhm.
true healing and find that true meaning and peace in your life. Tell me about what exactly is offered with DetoxU, with your packages and how you go about determining you do
Mhm.
testing or what as far as what type of detoxing do you have kind of all-in-one approach, or do you do some type of testing that goes along with that to determine different
Yeah.
cities?
Well, that's a good question because testing is usually always what people think of when they think of healing or diagnosing or treating. They think, oh, I've got to get tests, which can be helpful if there's big deficiencies or big problems. But a lot of times they aren't necessary. And part of detox use theory is that you can get yourself on the right track the majority of the time without any testing. We are an adjunct or a supplement to your primary care provider that may or may not be doing some regular blood test or diagnostic testing when necessary. We can refer you or steer you in the right direction for some blood work if necessary. There's a lot of places that you can get blood tests even without a physician's order. And of course, I'm a physician. I'm only licensed in the state of Missouri, so I'm not writing orders for blood tests for our DetoxU patient. But for the most part, it's not necessary. For DetoxU, we have several different things. We have actually one of our webinars tonight that people can still sign up for at the website. And it's a free 2-day webinar that provides an incredible, extraordinary amount of information. Christian and I have both worked hard, but he's done the majority of the work on preparing these workshops, and they are so generous as far as information that's given. And so we have those 2-day workshops that are free, one of them tonight. We do them about every 6 weeks or so. But on our website, we also have the option of a free 45-minute consultation where we talk to you and basically figure out how to plug you in. We have several programs that are available, 3 specifically that start with you're doing pretty good, you feel pretty good, you don't have any major diseases, but you just can't get that next level breakthrough. And then all the way through the spectrum to where you're just a very sick person, you're really struggling, you're on a lot of medications, you can't seem to get well. Every time you go to the doctor, you just have another medication added. And we have that type of program as well. And so we want to design it to where it's pretty much customizable to where you're at in your health journey. I wanted to say that there are cases where I have learned recently where testing can be incredibly helpful and incredibly empowering. And in
Mhm.
my clinic, in my personal clinic, direct primary care clinic, I have 2 in Missouri, for patients who are wanting to be screened for cancer or they've already been told they have cancer. I have a specific test that I can now do that's a true liquid biopsy where I can draw your blood and I send it off to Greece. We do the blood testing on Monday or Tuesday, and I can find out if you have any circulating tumor cells. What's really interesting is ever since I've been practicing, I'll draw blood on patients and I want them to come into the clinic, to discuss labs, and they always have this fear, oh, she's going to tell me I have cancer. But we don't really have that ability to do that with conventional blood tests. There are a few blood cancers that we may be able to see with a blood count. Your white blood cell count's really high or something like that. But it's very rare that you can draw a blood test or blood sample and find out, oh, you have cancer. But we have that availability now. And I'm doing that now in my clinic after doing some training. And This has been really incredibly helpful for patients. Somebody has an abnormal mammogram and we can draw that blood test on them. I had this specific situation a few weeks ago. Somebody was told that they have an abnormal mammogram, need to go in and get a biopsy. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want a biopsy. She doesn't want to go in and have that invasive procedure. We did the blood test. She showed no circulating tumor cells, zero. Or somebody gets a diagnosis of cancer and they don't want to do chemo and we need to get a baseline. And I had a patient that had their cancer and the 2 lymph nodes that had cancer in them removed, and she didn't want to get chemo. We drew the blood test and we found out exactly what we were dealing with, what the number of circulating tumor cells was in her blood. And then on top of that, we're able to find out from the testing what specific chemo would work against it if she chooses to do chemo, and what alternative agents will work against it. Supplements or off-label meds like naltrexone or ivermectin, or supplements like artemisinin or quercetin, or even we even get reports back on what their gene expression is and whether or not their cancer is sensitive to heat. We can benefit from putting her in the infrared sauna. So this information, that specific type of information, if they have cancer or dealing with potential cancer diagnosis, has been so empowering, so helpful for patients to take back control. Your patients have that diagnosis of cancer. It's like they just have to hand themselves over. They just have to hand themselves over. They don't want any of it. They don't like it. They just have to suffer. But now we have the ability to really empower patients. And once they feel empowered and they feel like they can control things, it will affect their mind and their brain. And I teach them to think those thoughts. Tell your brain, tell your mind, go get rid of the cancer. That's how powerful your mind is. And that's what they can do. And if they feel like they are in control of that situation, it helps it be even more effective.
Wow, that is amazing. So many people need to hear this because there's no other tests out there that I know of that are like this.
No,
And
there's not. Yeah.
and so and I wish that this was something that was easily accessible in every state for everyone. But if you are in the Missouri, Columbia area, look up Dr. Gessling.
Or Kansas City, I get patients from Kansas City or Illinois, or, I get patients from all the surrounding states as well. If you can come see me. And the company is RGCC. And so you're able to, kind of a bit, there's sample test online if you look up that site. And so that's the testing that I've started doing.
And if, in case anyone is wondering, how much out of pocket is a test?
That's a good question. So the screening test that tells me, do you have any circulating tumor cells? And it is very, very reliable test, is about $1,100. And then there's an additional test if that one is positive, or if you already know you have a cancer diagnosis, we don't even have to do that first screening test. We go straight to a test called Onconomics Plus, and that one's about a 1,800-ish. But it is the most incredible test you will ever receive about your cancer. It will tell you all of the chemo and the percentage effectiveness against your cancer, all of the chemo agents and exactly how well they will work. It will tell you your gene and protein expression. It will tell you what off-label meds like COX-2 inhibitors like Celebrex or naltrexone or ivermectin will work against your cancer. It will tell you what supplements will work against your cancer. And we can come up with a regimen that we rotate, that will be alternative, adjunctive, supportive for your cancer.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to learning more about that because I know a lot of people that could benefit from that. So thank you for sharing that. And so with DetoxU, if someone were to go to your website, what steps would they need to take?
Yeah. So if you go to the website, www.healingunited.today, you can just sign up for our email. And Christian and I have been alternating, sending out really fun, educational, story-like emails we've had a good time with. And so you can sign up for our daily email. You can sign up for if you hear this podcast today, what is this, October 21st, we are, or if it's October 22nd, you can still get in on the second day, but we start our free 2-day work tonight, starting at 4 Central. And then you just go and sign up on the website. And if you aren't interested in the free workshop, you can go to click on the 45-minute free consultation, which is incredible. And you'll talk to Christian or myself, and you will, we will kind of just do where you're at in your health and wellness journey and figure out what program would fit you best. If you're really pretty darn healthy, or sort of least program may be best for you. If you're really struggling, we would probably put you in the more intensive and get you back on track.
And what's the time frame for these programs?
Depends. It's about a six week to 6 month
Mm.
time frame, depending on which program you would need for healing, detox. And then, oh, I forgot to say, we also have an amazing new app. It's so fun. You just go to
Cool.
the App Store on Android or iOS, and it's Healing United PMA. And you can sign up for that free app, download it, and it has all of Deconstructing Conventional's podcast, which is Christian's podcast that he's been doing since about a year ago. And there are amazing podcasts that have been good as far as digging into some science about water and different detox medicines, or excuse me, substances. And also has a community that you can join to really just talk about your health journey, and different ways to, I think there's food tips and recipes, that type of thing. But an easy place to find all those podcasts is within the app.
Oh, that's great.
Really quick about, just because this is so fun and amazing, but I have several new machines in my clinic, especially in my clinic in Missouri, that have really helped people on their wellness journey. Two of them specifically target mitochondrial function. I have a new chair in my clinic that's called the Ion Rain, and it's like a super duper grounding chair. You sit under it and it just floods you with negative ions. One of my patients, she can't do that chair in the afternoon because it gives her so much energy. She has trouble getting to sleep at night, but it is so energizing. I have patients that have had, trouble with chronic fatigue, and they're constantly telling me, oh, those projects that I had sitting for forever, or the room that wasn't clean, it's clean now. I have so much energy. So I have that, and it can help with, basically we're just all walking around with depleted, inefficient mitochondria. And because of our environment, our nutrient depleted foods, the 5G around us, our stress, our state of stress that we're always in. And so this chair can help basically give your mitochondria the electrons it needs to pull through the electron transport chain, generate ATP, which is your energy molecule, and make you be in less of a metabolic dysfunctional state. And our mitochondria are the basis of whether or not we're healthy or have disease, chronic disease. That chronic disease could be cancer, it could be autoimmune, it could be chronic infection, it could be metabolic disease like diabetes or dyslipidemia, that type of thing. And so helping our mitochondria is super important. I also have a PEMF, which is pulsed electromagnetic field, which helps those mitochondria really pull through that chain and function. And then I have a myriad of other machines that are super cool in my clinic. But another one that I have one of only 6 in the country is a hair machine. And so the story on this particular machine and why it works so well is it was developed by a woman that owned horses, and she needed her horses to have really beautiful hair for showing. And she went through each wavelength of laser light and figured out what will stimulate hair growth, and then went and got it patented and made a machine. And I have one of few in the kind, of patients are loving it. I'm loving it. I use it as well. And my hairdresser was like, your hair is thicker than when I started seeing you 18 years ago. What is going on? I'm like, I'm sitting under my hair machine at work. And so all of these things, the design of the point of why I brought them into the clinic is not for profit, but basically I want my patients to thrive. I want them to have every tool in the toolbox for their bodies to function efficiently, for them to be happy. And my patients are just glowing. They're walking in, they're smiling, they're glowing, they're more energetic than I've ever seen. and this is what I want. And it's not that you have to have these machines. You can do other things that can get you good mitochondrial health, like grounding mats. You want mitochondria.
Absolutely. Well, you are a true doctor, I will say. Like I'm just impressed with you and all the things that you're doing and where you've been the last 5 years and how you are taking your experiences and thriving and just it's more momentum to help others. I am going to have to take a trip to see you and check out some of these new things in your clinic. It's super exciting. I love that you have, all these fun. I want to hear more about the hair growth thing too. That's really cool. Yeah, it's one of those things that you want someone like you in every city for
I,
people.
I know. And hopefully, with our spreading truth, talking life,
Mm,
and helping people thrive, it will have organic growth. And there's this whole sort of push now. I see this sort of catching Make America Healthy Again, which is what we've been preaching for so long. And so people, I think, are catching on to the toxic environment that we're swimming in, and how we really need to reverse this and get our bodies and our minds healthy again.
absolutely. So, and I will say that, just like the chair, that sounds amazing. If you don't have access to that, the best thing to do is go take a walk in nature, right? Because nature is full of those negative ions also. But not everyone, we've gotten away going outside, walking barefoot.
Or wear grounding shoes, which I'm seeing more and more online, all of these
Yeah,
different, yeah.
absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, you live in a city, that's kind of hard to, or you're, working at a day, you might, the best thing might to run over to someone like Dr. Heather who has that grounding chair. But if you have an opportunity, make time in your schedule to every day go outside, be in nature, get sunshine on your skin, and listen to the sounds. Don't put earbuds in and go on a walk, just kind of relax and all the healing things out there, the different frequencies. And if you can be barefoot, that's best too, or the grounding shoes. So, yeah.
Mhm. That's perfect. Yeah, and just to kind of explain grounding, and I failed to give that scientific explanation at the beginning. It's that our bodies are electrically charged, and we need those negative ions. Our mitochondria need them to be able to generate those ATP molecules. And so the earth is negatively charged. So when you
Mhm.
go stand on it, it gives you absorb those negative ions. If you go to the beach, you're going to get a heck of a lot of negative ions. The moving water generates negative ions. You get them through the sand. If you go to a waterfall, that moving water will generate negative ions. And so that's why you can feel so energized from those experiences, because your body is craving those negative ions.
Yep, exactly. And there's a good movie that you can watch. I think it's on Netflix or, um,
YouTube, I think I've seen it
yeah,
on YouTube.
the movies. There's some others out there too, but if you are new to this concept, I would, highly recommend. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to leave with our listeners?
I don't think so. My personal clinic website is GesslingFamilyWellness.com, and Healing United, where you can find DetoxU or plugged into any of our other programs, is www.healingunited.today.
Okay, perfect. And so if someone wants to get a hold of you, go to your your practice website,
Yeah, you
probably.
can go to the practice website. I'm also on Facebook. I'm on Twitter at H Gessling. You can friend me on Facebook. I pretty much accept all friend requests. And I think I'm on Instagram. I don't really pay attention much to it. I'm on LinkedIn. Any of those places, you'll find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time today to talk with me and share with our listeners about this exciting new program called DetoxU and just some of the other awesome things you're doing in your own clinic and practice. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and God bless you with everything you're doing.
You too, Andrea. Thanks so much.
Thank you.